Hey, this is Nick the Mining Book Guy, and today I've got a book that you may have seen that I've talked about it a little before, the Zurich Axioms by Max Gunther. And so a shout out to my friend Karem from the Next Bull Market Move, who it was kind of neat. He was looking for books kind of like the reminiscences of a stock operator, and I thought of this book, which I had read a few years ago, and they're not quite the same, but this one is much less well known, but it is a classic. It used to be very hard to find, but it's been republished. And so Karem interviewed me on his site. There'll be a link below that you can check out. And it was a very good interview, and a section was on the Zurich Axioms, but I wanted to add a few more notes of color that I think are worth mentioning, especially if you haven't picked up the book yet. And really, it's just a bunch of axioms, a bunch of points about how to be a good speculator, not so much an investor. I think this is one of the key books on speculation. People confound those terms too often. But one great point early on, I love this. He actually really pounds home the point that worrying is healthy, which goes completely against Zen and Buddhism and all that. I am all to this point. I'm kind of neurotic anyway, but I really think to be a good speculator, you actually do need to worry quite a bit. And a lot of the points actually came from Max's father, Frank, who was high level at UBS and was Swiss. So you do have this whole, this is how the Swiss kind of think about things. So I think that's kind of cool as well. Also, treating yourself for wins and accepting small losses cheerfully. I love that. Like, I definitely subscribe to this now, and you don't hear that so often. And it kind of ties in with, sometimes it's okay to take profits too soon. Take some profits off the table and treat yourself. And, what's wrong with that, even if a stock runs too far? But I'll get back into that in a second. Luck is a big part of this book, and I'll have another video that talks more about luck, because Max Gunther is kind of the luck guru, and I mean that in a good way. It's very hard to find people who have smart things to say about luck. But there's also a lot on intuition, and that's something you don't get as much from books like The Intelligent Investor or Benjamin Graham, or even when you hear about Warren Buffett. And I think that applies to investing or speculating, but especially with speculation, there's a lot of qualitative info that's just really important for you to not get tied up in all the numbers, but to really develop a gut feeling. I don't think everyone can do it, but I know in myself over the years, I've gotten better at it, and I've made more money or lost less money because of it. And so I love that that's intertwined throughout the book. But to end, I have a few disagreements. One of the biggest ones is I am very hesitant to ever recommend buying anything on margin. And that is discussed in this book, and I know a lot of people in the past have made a lot on margin, borrowing money. And the thing is, we're talking about junior mining stocks here. Leverage is built in to these mining stocks. So do you really need to go, even deeper and borrow money? I don't think so. I wouldn't recommend it. It means you're making a bet against time. And there's other ways to do it. You can do it with warrants, which I don't have access to. But the point is, I don't really like that recommendation, but just something to be aware of. People can disagree on it. Often it is better to let winners run, but this book is actually against that, and that gets against the whole Warren Buffett thing, buy and hold forever. I think it's a little too pushy for it's okay to take a profit early. I'm somewhere in between. I think it depends on the company, but that's something to be aware of. But I do think too many people are anti taking profits early, and I think that's okay. So it's a very interesting, debatable point. And then, I guess it was the last one, long run buying. I think it's just fascinating that this was written, developed in the 70s and 80s before the Warren Buffett. So there's just so much anti-Warren Buffett type mentality here. The thing is, mining hasn't been in vogue for decades, so I actually think this book really applies well to mining, but not necessarily as well to other areas. So it's just something to keep in mind, but he doesn't really talk about mining or discovery stocks much at all. So I love the Zurich Axioms as what I consider an essential part of your library to help you become a better speculator, and I think it's great discussion points, and I would love to discuss this book more at a site like CEO.CA where I hang out on a regular basis. So make sure you check out parts of my interview with Karem at the next bull market move. But I hope that you consider picking up this book, as it is one of those classics that not too many people are aware of. This is Nick, the Mining Book Guy. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye.